In this video, we look at the legend, the Toyota GT1, Group 2 or Group 1? What category do you think it should be in and why? Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video where we're talking about the absolutely legendary Toyota GT1 that you can see in the background. This car is legendary. Obviously, it hits a lot of nostalgia vibes. So when it was announced it was coming to Gran Turismo 7, a lot of people were very hyped to drive the car. Now, some people are not liking the handling too much based on the time trial. However, I do think it is a fantastic addition to Gran Turismo, and hopefully we get to use it in some races going forward. Now, with that in mind, there is a bit of a debate going on across all the social media platforms, of X, Facebook, GT Planet, on Discords, in terms of the classification of this car, Group 1 and Group 2. So if you're not already aware, it's been classified as a Group 2 car, okay? So it's racing the likes of Super GT cars, DTM cars, some of the GT1 cars, so in the Mercedes CLK LM, of course, which it did race in the 1998 season, and that is the category of cars it's been placed in. So naming those cars, we've got the DTM cars, which are going to have, well, we've only got the Audi RS5 at the moment, which has DRS and heavy downforce. Super GT cars are very similar to DTM in essence, and I know there's been some crossovers in real life with that. They've got heavy downforce on the newer cars, a bit less downforce on the older cars, but they've got higher top speed. And then, of course, as I say, we've got the GT1 cars, where in 1998, so the 1998 version of the Toyota GT1, it did race in the LM GT1 category. Now, in the LM GT1 category, you had to have road-going versions of your cars to classify in that category. And essentially, they did. They had two road-going versions of this Toyota GT1. There was 25 of the Mercedes CLK LM. Please quote me if I'm wrong with that sentence. But essentially, it was racing in the LM GT1 category. Now, if you look at Gran Turismo in a nutshell initially, and you are getting some racing in the background, of course, in Group 2, and we'll jump to Group 1 shortly, it doesn't quite have the performance at the moment to hit Group 1 at 100% on both. It really doesn't. But I would argue Group 1 is a bit broken anyway. It really is a bit broken. We've got hybrids, non-hybrids, we've got old Group C cars, we've got brand new LMP1 cars. It's just a mixture of everything all combined into one. And Group 1 in reality is just a custom group anyway. It's not LMP1, it's just a custom group that Gran Turismo have made to really put the hyper cars in there, essentially. The what we market today in terms of leading WEC, the hyper cars, that's essentially what that category is. It's Group 1, it's LMP1, it's combining all sorts in there. As I say, in the 1998 season, it was racing in LMGT1, which arguably is where the CLK LM was, and it did race the CLK LM, as well as other cars as well, of course, the McLaren F1 GTR, which is also in the game. The Nissan isn't in the game at the moment, but maybe we'll see it in the game in the future. Who knows, maybe it's why it's classified in Group 2. But this is the point of the video. I want to talk about this, and whether you feel it's in the right category in terms of Group 2, or the wrong category and it should be in Group 1, or you feel it should be in any category and just sits on its own somewhere else in Gran Turismo. Let's jump back into some of the historics then. So, it raced in LMGT1. LMGT1, in terms of Le Mans, they were actually beating Le Mans prototypes at that point, and LMP1 was meant to be the lead category, but LMGT1 really was going too fast at that point, so the FIA actually just completely changed the category and the classification, and they called it LMGTP, which is Le Mans Grand Touring Prototype. So obviously, they were too fast for GT cars, they called them Prototype. Prototype is in the name. Remember LMP1, where most of these cars in Group 1 already sit. Prototype, makes sense, it should be in Group 1. That was in 1999. We have the 1999 car, the TS020. That's what we have in the game. We don't have the 98 car, we have the 99 car. In my opinion, it really should be in Group 1. Now, we've jumped to the Group 1 race in the background, and as you can see, it actually fits in quite nice with the styling. So, when we looked at the Group 2 race, it didn't really suit being in that race, in my opinion, that I was showing you. It really didn't. You had a mixture of all sorts of cars. It actually looked like two classes of cars racing, if I'm honest with you, with the CLK LM in there and the Toyota GT1 versus the Super GT cars. It did look like two completely different sets of races. Whereas in the prototype that you're seeing now, actually looks, possible that they could be racing each other, especially with a custom bot that we could get in there and they could race each other, and we could actually have some fantastic races potentially if we could sort Group 1 out. So let's get back to the main competitor, which I'm going to say is the Mercedes CLK LM in 1998. That had to be redeveloped massively for the 99 season to make sure it got into the LMGTP category. So they had to do loads of work on it, and it became the Mercedes CLR. Now, obviously, that car is infamous for the flips on the Mulsanne straight. So I think 2 of the cars flipped, and I think the other one got retired because of it. So it had a short wheelbase, huge overhang. The wind got underneath it as it was just flapping about, top end of the speed. Picked it up, and well, you've seen the clips in the past. It just flips and goes to the side on the Mulsanne. So the Mercedes had to redevelop the car. So we've effectively got the Toyota GT1 99 car versus the older Mercedes, which wasn't an LMGTP car. Instead, we're racing an LMGTP car versus a LMGT1 car in Group 2. Now, for me personally, that sounds a bit wrong. It doesn't look right, and I reckon it needs reclassifying as a Toyota GT1 Group 1 car. I really do. And it's in the name as well. I mean, Toyota GT1 Group 2. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Toyota GT1 Group 1 car. That makes sense. It sounds like it makes sense. It makes absolute sense to me. But yeah, I reckon it's been wrongly classified, in my opinion. We've got a bop there that we can change. We can make the car competitive, at least versus some of the cars. And we probably could have a fantastic race of prototype cars there, in my opinion. But for me personally, it has been classified wrong. What about you guys? So if you are commenting, please do keep it fair, transparent. These are people's opinions. My opinion is not the right one. I'm just giving you my opinion in the fact that I believe it's been classified incorrectly and it should be in Group 1. What's your opinion? Is it in the right category? Is it in the right class? Do you feel it needs to be moved? Not moved? If you're replying to somebody else, please, it's all opinions. None of this is factual. So just be kind to each other, because I know that sometimes discussions can go absolutely crazy, okay? So do keep that in mind. For me personally, I reckon it needs a reclassification. Put it in Group 1. Let's get the prototypes together. Let's have some fun in the prototype class, because at the moment, I can't see the Toyota GT1 working in Group 2 at all anyway, even if it's a Group 2 race, because the Super GT cars are just going to go absolutely crazy and outcorner this car and just absolutely annihilate it, if I'm honest. Now, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to try and do this more often in terms of a Wednesday. So in the past, it used to be on a Saturday or a Sunday in terms of a feature video where it's something different. It's not a guide. It's not a race highlights. It's not a weekly race guide. It's something different. It's a topic or a discussion where we're looking at something on... It's not even just Gran Turismo, or it's Assetto Corsa, whatever it may be. We're looking at it and we're saying, is this right? Is this not right? We're just digging down into the detail a little bit more. They're not going to be every Wednesday, but when I get a chance to make them, I'm going to make them, and I'm going to put them out there. And it'll be different stuff as well, It'll be the license tests, because I have done the new license tests. You haven't seen that yet, so I do expect that to come in the future, as well as, Lindsay playing Lady Tidge, of course. She's been playing the game as well. I say that is going to be it for me in terms of this video. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. I'm going to end the video here. Big thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.